if somebody came to you and offered you a pill that would make you happy every day, the happiness pill, and this person would tell you, if you take this pill every day, you're going to be happy for the rest of your life. No side effects. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter if you're watching TV or sleeping or if you are just in the street doing nothing. You're going to be completely happy. Would you take it? And this question has been bugging me for about 2 years. And to the point that recently it's been waking me, well, I'm exaggerating, but it's been sort of really bugging me inside. Why I shouldn't take it? I mean, why? Let's say this thing existed. Why even bother to go to work? Why even bother to do all these DOEs and all these things if I just can take it and stay watching TV and I would be the same happiness that I would have if I was doing something else? After 2 years of thinking, I gave up and I started asking my friends. I went around and I asked 63 friends. And the answers I got were actually interesting. 0% of the people, they said they would take it. Nobody said they would take it. And then I started asking, why? Why would you take it or why not? And all the people that say they wouldn't take it, they say, well, because it doesn't exist. What do you mean? Well, it's a hypothetical scenario. There's no such a pill. I'm like, what are you talking about? I work in a company where we get coffee every day and half of the people are always high because they're taking coffee. How's that different than the happiness pill? How about Prozac? How about all these Ritalin, all these things? Isn't that the same? Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, there are side effects and blah, 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 blah. So I was not very convinced. And then I kept asking, but there was one guy out of those 63 people who I asked. His name is Jolt. Actually, you guys know him. You guys might know, you know him, right? He thinks he's very smart, and I'm talking to him because I'm going to show you the video later. He's a tall guy with a big nose. He sits in front of my cube. You can go and see him. He thinks he's very smart. I'm actually smarter than him, and I am not very smart. So you guys know. So he came up with this answer. Well, okay, let's suppose that the happiness pill actually existed. Still, I wouldn't take it because it wouldn't work. Why? Well, because the brain works by differentials. What do you mean? Oh, because you cannot be happy all the time. At some point, even if your brain chemistry doesn't change, at some point you just get bored of being happy all the time. There has to be some changes. The traditional yin and yang and all these things, you have to be sad or you have to see the darkness so you can appreciate the light and all these things. And I was like, this guy is actually very smart. I mean, he might have a point. So I started just thinking and thinking. I'm like, he cannot beat me up. And I think I came up with the spiritual awakening pill. So what if the same person came to you and told you, what if you could have a pill where you choose what are the feelings that you're going to have? Forget about happiness. You say, I choose everything, every feeling that I want to have. Let's say I want to choose this particular time of the day. I feel sad. And then I say, okay, the next day I'll be happy so I can compensate. And then I want to be feeling spiritual. And then the next day I want to feel this. Would you take it? And again, I went into the same crisis. Like, why not? I mean, it makes sense. Why wouldn't I choose everything I want to feel and just take it? So I went to Jolt again, the smart guy, right? Who claims he's smart. Jolt, what would you do in this situation? I'm like, I'm sure he's not going to come up with an answer. And actually, he couldn't. You said you couldn't, but he couldn't. He said, well, yeah, I mean, actually, I don't know. He said, I don't know. I mean, I still wouldn't take it. It's just weird. Honestly, I asked other people, and everybody said the same thing. It's just weird. Even when I offered the option to do this additional pill, they wouldn't take it because it's weird. But the reality is, why not? Honestly, so far, I haven't been able to come up with a decent answer. If you guys have any opinions, please get back to me offline. I went even farther to think, maybe I can start my own company. I was even thinking, let's say somebody goes on a website, you type, you register, you do the application, and then a week later you get a little device that you put your finger, they do a blood test, and then the DNA gets sent immediately through your cell phone, going to the company, and then you select how you want to feel. Let's say there's a feeling for each day of the week. On Tuesday, I want to be mad. But then the next day, I want to be a little bit sad because I want to have variation and so on. Then you want to feel relaxed and I want to be happy. Let's say 3 days out of the week, I want to feel really happy. But then 1 or 2 days mad so I can, provide the yin-yang kind of thing, right? And then I started thinking, that's really scary because honestly, I don't have a good answer or why I wouldn't do it. And eventually, it seems like that's where we're going. Eventually, this could be possible. We're already providing drugs that can do all these things, right? I even went a little bit farther and I thought about the next stage of the company where we could have the spiritual awakening helmet where you could just walk around, this is the antenna that connects to the microprocessor. And you can select, you have the dial, right? Each one is a stage of mind. So you can even go down to the hour. Let's say you're in a meeting that is completely boring. You say, I'm going to be happy. And you just close your eyes, and even if your manager starts yelling at you, you just don't care because you're happy, right? But where does it end? At the end of the day, I could even go farther and say, I'm just going to chop off my body and blind my eyes and do anything. I mean, pretty much all I'm going to have is my head with the happiness helmet attached in a table, and that's it. I mean, why not? And then what is next? Just the brain connected to a chip. And what is next? Maybe we don't even need the brain. Maybe the next thing is just the chip itself. So pretty much it's the same as being dead. So for now, even though I don't have an answer, I feel comfort that we don't have the technology to be there. At least I'm like, okay, I don't have to take the decision because we're not there yet. At some point we might, so at that point we might have to take the decision. But the question still remains. And let me explain you what. Every day, each of us are faced with multiple options to do. Let's say this is you, and you have 20 options of what you can do, right? For each one of these options, imagine this is what you choose to do. There's going to be a feeling that you're going to be getting. Let's say you play soccer, or you read, or you go and hug your girlfriend, whatever. This option you choose is going to give you a feedback system into your brain, so you're going to feel certain things. Now, what do we know? We know we have limited time. We know we have multiple options. We have a rough idea that each one of these options is going to give us some type of happiness or some type of feeling in our mind. So, at the end of the day, my friends, that sounds cheesy, but I have to say. I always want to say my friends. At the end of the day, this is the real happiness pill, or the real spiritual awakening pill. This right here. And my question for you is, if you know you have options and you know the results in your brain of those options, which ones would you pick and why? Thank you.